Some battles never make a sound. People wake up every morning carrying fears they never talk about, smiling in public while quietly falling apart inside. And maybe today, that person is you. Maybe your heart feels tired before the day has even begun. Maybe your mind has been overwhelmed with pressure, uncertainty, and silent worries that no one else can see. But what if this moment is not accidental? What if God brought you here because your soul needed to hear one simple promise before anything else today begins? Fear not, for I am with you. Those words from Isaiah 41:10 have carried people through their darkest nights, through seasons of loss, fear, exhaustion, and uncertainty. And today, they can carry you too. Right now, as the morning light slowly rises across the sky, God sees every burden you carried into this day. He sees the anxiety you tried to hide. He sees the tears you never explained. He sees the questions that kept you awake last night. And before this prayer is over, something inside your spirit will begin to breathe again. Because difficult times do not mean God has abandoned you. They may be the very place where His presence becomes the closest. There are mornings when the weight of life feels heavier than the body can carry. Before the sun fully rises, before the world becomes loud again, the heart is already fighting battles that nobody else can see. Many people begin the day smiling on the outside while carrying fear deep within their thoughts. They move through responsibilities, conversations, and routines, pretending everything is under control. Yet internally, they are exhausted from worrying about the future, about their family, about their finances, about their health, and about situations they no longer know how to fix. Fear has a subtle way of taking control over a person's life. It does not always arrive through dramatic moments. Sometimes it grows slowly through disappointment, uncertainty, delayed answers, emotional wounds, and long nights filled with anxious thoughts. Over time, the mind becomes overwhelmed, peace becomes difficult to feel, and even simple days begin to feel emotionally draining. There are people listening right now who have become tired of carrying invisible pressure. They are tired of being strong for everyone else, while secretly feeling like they are falling apart inside. What makes fear so dangerous is not only the pain it creates, but the lies it whispers repeatedly into the heart. Fear tells people they are alone in their struggle. It tells them that nothing will ever change. It convinces them that their situation is too broken, too complicated, or too hopeless to overcome. Slowly, anxiety steals rest, joy, confidence, and emotional stability until a person begins surviving instead of truly living. That is why the words of Isaiah 41:10 carry such extraordinary power during difficult seasons. God speaks directly to fearful and exhausted hearts when He says, "Fear not, for I am with you." These words are not empty motivation. They are a divine reminder that no battle is faced alone. God does not ignore human fear, and He does not shame people for feeling weak. Instead, He steps into the middle of human pain with His presence, His comfort, and His strength. The promise begins with two powerful words, "Fear not." God says this not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because His presence changes the meaning of the struggle. Problems may still exist. Uncertainty may still remain. Difficult seasons may not disappear overnight. Yet the person walking through those storms no longer walks abandoned. The presence of God becomes the source of courage that human strength alone could never produce. Perhaps today, you feel emotionally worn down from carrying too much for too long. Perhaps your mind has been racing with worries that never seem to stop. But this morning, before anything else takes your attention, God wants your heart to remember one truth. Fear does not control your future. His presence does. Even now, while you listen to this prayer, God is closer than your anxiety, stronger than your weakness, and greater than every situation trying to steal your peace. There are moments in life when the deepest pain is not physical exhaustion, but the feeling of carrying everything alone. Some people have become so used to hiding their struggles that nobody around them realizes how much they are truly battling inside. They continue helping others, fulfilling responsibilities, and showing strength on the outside, while privately fighting emotional fatigue that grows heavier with each passing day. In quiet moments, when the distractions disappear and the mind becomes still, the loneliness becomes impossible to ignore. Many people listening to this prayer understand that feeling very well. They know what it feels like to sit in a crowded room and still feel emotionally distant from everyone around them. They know what it feels like to carry worries they cannot fully explain, fears they cannot easily express, and burdens they secretly wish someone else could understand. Sometimes the hardest battles are the invisible ones, because they are fought in silence. No applause comes from surviving anxious nights. No one sees the tears wiped away before the day begins. No one notices the prayers whispered quietly while trying not to fall apart emotionally. Yet in the middle of that hidden pain, Isaiah 41:10 speaks with extraordinary tenderness when God says, "For I am with you." These words carry a comfort deeper than human reassurance because they reveal the nearness of God during life's most difficult seasons. God does not wait for people to become strong before drawing close to them. He moves toward the weary, the anxious, the discouraged, and the emotionally exhausted. His presence is not limited to peaceful seasons. Very often, people discover the closeness of God most powerfully during moments when they feel weakest. Imagine the stillness of the early morning as soft, golden light begins to enter through the window. The world remains quiet for a few brief moments before the demands of the day begin. In that silence, God is present. He sees every thought racing through your mind. He sees the pressure you have been carrying for weeks, months, or even years. He understands the fears you rarely speak aloud. Nothing about your struggle is hidden from Him. Sometimes, people expect God's presence to appear through dramatic signs, yet often His comfort arrives quietly. It comes as peace in the middle of confusion. It comes as strength to continue one more day. It comes as calmness that slowly replaces panic. It comes as the unexplainable feeling that even though life remains difficult, you are somehow still being sustained. The promise, "I am with you," changes the entire atmosphere of fear because it reminds the heart that abandonment is not your story. God remains present in every painful conversation, every uncertain decision, every hospital room, every financial struggle, every lonely night, and every moment when your spirit feels overwhelmed. He walks beside you through situations that others may never fully understand. Today, this prayer is not simply reminding you that God exists somewhere far away. It is reminding you that He is near right now. His presence surrounds the person who feels anxious about the future. His presence comforts the person carrying grief. His presence strengthens the person who feels emotionally drained. And even if your circumstances have not changed yet, God's nearness has the power to change the way you walk through them. There are seasons when exhaustion becomes deeper than physical tiredness. A person can sleep for hours and still wake up emotionally drained because the real weight is being carried in the heart and in the mind. Many people have spent so much time surviving pressure, stress, disappointment, and uncertainty that they no longer remember what true peace feels like. They continue moving forward because responsibilities demand it, but internally they feel fragile, overwhelmed, and close to giving up. Modern life has taught many people how to stay busy, but very few know how to rest emotionally. The mind remains constantly active, thinking about problems that still need solutions, bills that still need to be paid, conversations that still create anxiety, and situations that still feel unresolved. Even during quiet moments, the heart struggles to slow down. Some people have become so accustomed to carrying emotional heaviness that they now believe exhaustion is simply a normal part of life. Yet God never intended for fear and pressure to consume the human soul completely. That is why the next part of Isaiah 41:10 carries such healing power when God says, "I will strengthen you." These words are deeply personal because they reveal that divine strength becomes available exactly when human strength begins to fail. God does not ask exhausted people to pretend they are strong enough on their own. Instead, He offers His own strength to sustain them through seasons they could never survive alone. There are moments when people quietly reach the limit of what they can emotionally carry. Some are tired of fighting anxiety every single day. Others are tired of pretending they are hopeful while secretly feeling discouraged. Some are emotionally exhausted from waiting for answers that seem delayed. Others feel worn down by responsibilities that never seem to become lighter. In those moments, discouragement whispers dangerous thoughts into the mind. It says that nothing will change. It says the future will always feel heavy. It says there is no strength left to continue. But God speaks directly against that hopelessness when He declares, "I will strengthen you." Notice that the promise does not depend on human ability. God does not say, "Strengthen yourself." He does not tell weary people to simply try harder or hide their weakness better. His promise is rooted in His own power, not human performance. This means that even people who feel emotionally empty can still be sustained by the presence of God. There is something deeply comforting about knowing that God understands human weakness completely. He sees the moments when tears are hidden behind closed doors. He sees the nights when anxiety keeps the mind awake. He sees the silent prayers spoken by people who feel too tired to even explain their pain anymore. And instead of turning away from brokenness, God moves closer to it with compassion and strength. Imagine someone sitting quietly in the early hours of the morning, overwhelmed by life, struggling to hold themselves together emotionally. Their heart feels heavy, their thoughts feel chaotic, and the future feels uncertain. Yet while they sit there in silence, God is already present beside them. Even before circumstances begin to change, He begins strengthening the soul from within. Little by little, He replaces panic with calmness. He replaces despair with endurance. He replaces fear with courage to continue one more step forward. Sometimes God's strength appears dramatically, but often it works gently and steadily. It gives a person the ability to keep going when they thought they could not survive another day. It allows peace to rise slowly inside the middle of uncertainty. It provides emotional stability during seasons that once felt unbearable. And many times, people only realize later that the reason they did not completely collapse was because God had been sustaining them the entire time. Today, if your spirit feels exhausted, this promise belongs to you. The strength of God is not reserved for perfect people who never struggle. It is given to ordinary people walking through difficult seasons who desperately need divine help. Even now, while fear tries to convince you that you are too weak to continue, God is reminding your heart that His strength is greater than your exhaustion. His power is greater than your anxiety. And His presence is already holding you together in ways you cannot fully see yet. Difficult seasons have a way of revealing the fears people try hardest to hide. When life becomes uncertain, many begin questioning their own strength. Delayed answers, Unexpected struggles, closed doors, emotional pain, and long periods of waiting can slowly wear down even the strongest hearts. There are moments when people wonder if they will ever feel peace again, if things will ever improve, or if the weight they are carrying will ever become lighter. Yet it is often inside those painful seasons that true courage begins to grow. The world usually defines courage as confidence, control, and visible strength. But the kind of courage God creates inside a person is much deeper than that. Spiritual courage is continuing to trust, even while facing uncertainty. It is choosing to move forward while still carrying unanswered questions. It is waking up each morning and believing that God remains present even when emotions feel unstable and circumstances remain difficult. That is why the final part of Isaiah 41:10 carries such extraordinary comfort when God says, "I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This image is powerful because it reminds us that God is not watching from a distance while people struggle alone. He is actively holding, sustaining, and guiding those who feel weak. Imagine someone walking along a long road during the early hours of the morning. The sky is still soft with golden light. The air is quiet, and the path ahead feels uncertain. There are mountains in the distance, and the journey appears longer than expected. Alone, that road would feel overwhelming. But now imagine God walking beside that person, holding their hand firmly with perfect strength and unwavering love. Suddenly the journey changes, not because every obstacle disappears immediately, but because the traveler no longer walks unsupported. Many people listening today need to remember this deeply. God is still holding you, even in moments when you feel emotionally unstable. He is holding you during difficult conversations, during financial pressure, during lonely nights, during seasons of grief, and during moments when fear tries to take control of your thoughts. His hand does not release people simply because they feel weak. In fact, His strength becomes even more visible during human weakness. Perhaps you entered this morning feeling emotionally tired and uncertain about the future. But Isaiah 41:10 is reminding your soul that you are not standing alone against life. The same God who created the heavens is sustaining you right now with His presence. Even if you cannot yet see how everything will unfold, you can still walk forward with courage because God Himself is holding your life securely in His hands. Heavenly Father, this morning we come before you exactly as we are. Some hearts arrive carrying peace, but many arrive carrying fear, exhaustion, uncertainty, and silent pain that words cannot fully explain. There are people listening to this prayer who feel emotionally overwhelmed by situations they cannot control. Some are anxious about the future. Some are carrying deep loneliness. Others are tired of fighting battles that seem endless. Yet in this moment, Lord, we hold on to the promise you spoke in Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Father, allow those words to settle deeply into every anxious heart today. Let your presence become greater than every fear trying to consume the mind. Quiet the thoughts that have stolen rest during the night. Calm the worries that continue repeating themselves throughout the day. Remind every person listening that they are not abandoned, forgotten, or unseen. Even in difficult seasons, your hand continues to guide and sustain them. Lord, many people have been trying to appear strong for too long while secretly feeling exhausted inside. Some have carried emotional burdens silently because they don't know how to explain the heaviness they feel. But you see every hidden tear, every silent prayer, every moment of discouragement, and every fear about tomorrow. Nothing escapes your attention. Nothing is beyond your care. Today, Father, replace fear with courage. Replace anxiety with peace. Replace emotional exhaustion with renewed strength. Teach weary hearts to rest in the truth that your presence remains constant, even when life feels uncertain. Let this morning become a turning point, where despair begins losing its power and hope begins rising again. We declare today that we will not be controlled by fear, because you are with us. We will not surrender to hopelessness, because your strength sustains us. Even when the future feels unclear, we trust that your hand is still leading us forward, one step at a time. And as the light of this new morning fills the sky, let your peace fill every heart. Listening right now, let your comfort surround those who feel weak. Let your presence embrace those who feel alone. And let every person remember throughout this day that the God who promised, "Fear not," is still walking beside them, still strengthening them, and still holding them securely in his righteous hand. There are moments when God changes a person quietly, not through dramatic signs or instant answers, but through a deep inner strength that slowly begins to rise again after a long season of fear and emotional exhaustion. Sometimes the greatest miracle is discovering that even after everything you have faced, your heart is still standing, your faith is still breathing, and your spirit still carries hope for tomorrow. Today, let the promise of Isaiah 41:10 remain alive in your spirit. Fear not, for I am with you. These words were not spoken only for easy seasons. They were spoken for mornings like this. Moments when the heart feels tired, when the future feels uncertain, and when the soul desperately needs reassurance that God is still near. No matter what battle you are facing right now, remember this deeply. God has not abandoned you. He sees every silent struggle, every anxious thought, every tear nobody else noticed, and every moment you almost gave up. And even through the hardest seasons, his hand has continued to sustain you. As you move through this day, carry this promise with you. When fear tries to return, remember that God is with you. When discouragement whispers that you are too weak, remember that God himself is strengthening you. And when life feels overwhelming, remember that his righteous hand is still holding you securely. If this prayer spoke to your heart today, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next morning prayer and daily encouragement. Every new day is another opportunity for God to restore peace, strength, and hope inside your life. And now, before you leave, I want you to answer this from your heart in the comments. What is the biggest fear you need to surrender to God today?